Hello everyone, my name is Gary and I'd like to welcome you to Google Gemini. And you can get to Gemini by going to gemini.google.com. It's a standalone app. Now, have you ever caught yourself staring at a blank document, maybe a complicated spreadsheet, or thinking about having to write a difficult email? How much time does this cost us? This is where Google Gemini can come into play. It's Google's creative and collaborative AI partner. It's designed to help you brainstorm, write, analyze, and create. So let's get started with the most effective thing that you can learn when it comes to AI tools, and that's prompting. And you can even start right here, right now with practice. So we're going to come into our prompt bar in the middle of the screen. The prompt is actually the ask that you have. Essentially, it's your Google it, what you would ask Google if you were doing a Google search. So we're going to start off with something really simple. Write an email about the team offsite event, and we're going to send it. It's going to give us a response back, and then from there we can work with it. Now we can look at this information and we can choose to tweak it, maybe work with it however we want, but that's essentially what it's going to give you back as a result. So what we did for a prompt was very simple. Write an email about the team offsite event. I didn't give it any context, any detail. I didn't even give it a plan of action. And this is what it gave us. Now, let's try a little bit of a different type of prompt. So this time what we're going to do is we're going to add a bunch of detail to it because we want to get as specific as we possibly can. Let's go into the upper left. We're going to give it a new chat and we're going to come back into the prompt bar. This time, I'm going to write a little bit more detailed prompt. Act as a team lead, which is going to be the role that we're going to use. I want to write an email to my engineering team of 12 people. This is the context that I'm giving, announcing our Q4 offsite event. This is the action. The tone should be exciting and fun, so I can even add tone, and include a bulleted list for the date, location, and call to action to RSVP by next Friday. So I'm just going to clean this up and get rid of what those little parentheses are, because we really don't need that. I just wanted to include that for you to start with, so you can see how we're breaking this down as a more detailed prompt. Okay, let's send that, and now let's see our difference. So this looks much better. It's giving us a lot more information, but it's more concise and more detailed to what I am looking for. Let's break prompt engineering down just a little bit further for you. Okay, so let's talk about this prompting thing for a minute. You want to get the most from Gemini with the right prompts. You don't want to get frustrated with your results, the first step in working with your AI tools. So let's break it down a little bit more. The 4 key elements to a solid prompt are going to be your persona, and I don't mean your name. I mean, like, what is your role? Are you a senior level manager? Something of that nature. The task. This is going to be the ask of what we're looking for. The context. What's some of those details around the what you're doing? Why are you doing it? Information supplied to give it a more well-rounded response. And then the format. We can definitely ask it to put things into maybe bullet points or into a table format, whatever we're looking for. To break it down just a little bit more for you, set the stage with your tone and your voice. You're a senior UX designer. You're a director of engineering. The goal, that's essentially what you've done all these years that you've been using Google for Googling it. It's the goal. It's what do you want? But in this case, we want to go much further and add much more detail. The context, you need to help the model understand the constraints and the details of what you're asking. The more, the better. Literally, talk it out. As much detail as you can give, the better response you're going to get. And then the format. How many times have you done a search for something, you've got that information, but it's not really in the way that you'd like to utilize it and work with it? Well, here you've got a chance to tell it right from the get-go that you need something either in a bulleted list, a couple of paragraphs, maybe even just some high-level keywords that we want to utilize. Optional components, you can definitely follow up with things like examples. Give examples of what you want to see and what you want to work with that response. Following up, you can converse with this tool just as if it's an AI assistant or an assistant person sitting next to you. Limits. If you want to give it some limits and parameters around things, you're welcome to do that as well, depending on maybe what you're asking. And then there's the style and the tone. We talked a little bit about that in that first one, where we wanted to give it a fun and exciting tone. You can definitely do that, especially when you're creating things like emails. We want to give a little bit more oomph to what our prompt is. Here's a basic example. Persona, context, task, and format. You are a Google Cloud account executive. You want to draft a door opener email to whatever that manager or persona may be, based on challenges in the customer's name, 2023, 2025, whatever it may be, quarterly report. Limit this to 250 characters and use bullet points. Okay, now I think we've got you started on the right path to try some prompt engineering on your own. Once again, just give it a ton of detail and you'll get much better results right from the beginning.